Hey guys, and welcome back to Women Empowerment Wednesday. Today I have the beautiful Shante with me, and I've only known her for a little while, but her story is extremely impactful. So, Shante, can you just introduce yourself and tell us who you are beyond your titles?
Hi, everyone. My name is Shante, and I am a mother of three. And who I am beyond just who I am and a mother, um, I'm also what I survived.
Mhm.
Um, I am the voice that was buried beneath silence, that learned how to breathe again without asking for permission.
Mhm.
um, I'm the woman who has met herself in the dark and sat with herself, held herself, and chose not to abandon herself just to make the world comfortable. I am the truth. I am unapologetically myself and still unfolding.
Yes.
Like I said, I am a mother, but I'm also a mirror, reflecting back to others what it looks like to come home to yourself. Um,
Mhm.
I've been broken into a million pieces, misunderstood into silence, and rebuilt into something that no longer needs anyone's approval. So, if you ask me who I am beyond titles,
Mhm.
I am the moment someone remembers their voice. Uh, I I am the permission to speak anyway. I'm the proof that you can lose yourself and still find your way back louder, stronger, softer, and
Yes.
with the truth.
Yes, and I love that. And I commend you because, again, just being a mom is hard enough, but now you're a mom who's reinventing herself, pouring back into herself. Like, that's huge. So I'm proud of you for real. So I
Thank
know that you covered a lot. And again, you said that you're healing out loud. So, what does that mean to you personally?
So healing out loud to me personally, it means a lot because I have been silent since I can remember, since a child.
Okay.
Always being told, what happens in this house stays in this house,
Yep.
and I carried that throughout childhood into personal relationships, intimate relationships, business relationships, and it has cost me so much, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. It has cost me
Hmm.
so much, just being silent. It cost me myself, first and foremost. It cost me
Yeah.
myself to not stand in my truth or to be my authentic self to make others comfortable. So healing out loud is where I start to build my own community where there are others who are like me who are waiting to express and fully feel all of the things that they've ever been through.
Okay. So I know that you said like you've been silenced ever since your childhood. When was a moment that you realized that you didn't want to be silent anymore? Because that's a long period of, again, being silenced throughout your entire life, basically. So what was that like moment that you like, okay, this isn't right. This isn't how I want to live my life?
I would say, honestly, I would say it was after my divorce
Okay.
is the moment where I felt like I just couldn't be silent anymore just because it just didn't matter. I started to see signs and I started to see patterns where it really didn't matter, um, if I tried to please you or to make the situations that I was going through less chaotic. There were still going to be things that were said about me that weren't true, that were hurtful, that were
Hmm.
harmful to my image, harmful to me as a person, as a mother. And I just was like, you know what? I might as well just be honest with myself first, start off to
Hmm.
be honest with myself and sit down and reflect on the decisions that I chose to make and my circumstances and find that balance in between. So after seeing how my children were affected and
Mhm.
how I was also being affected in my day-to-day life. That was the moment for me after losing pretty much everything after my divorce, my home, my relationship, my self-respect, my job, my dignity. After losing all of those things, that was the moment for me where I said, you know what, it's time to really stand up and show who you really are. And I started building myself back up brick by brick.
And I'm happy for you because again, doing that with kids is no easy feat at all. And then today, again, you're building, you're impacting, you're sharing your story, and that's going to be able to resonate with so many people who they may not have like the exact circumstance, but knowing like you can lose everything and still be okay. You know, everything that we do in this life can be essentially undone long as we learn from, you know, everything that we've went through. So with that being said, like, you know, you said you're a mom of three. What challenges do you face while trying to heal, but still showing up for the kids?
Whew. So
Yeah.
that's definitely been a challenge for me, but it's been a great challenge because it inspires me to keep growing and elevating to my higher
Hmm.
self. And so the challenges with that is that I find myself days where I want to break down or my past comes back and it's in my mind and won't let my mind relax. It's
Hmm.
and to see my children, you know, so for me, I had to be strong. I felt like growing up, I always had to see, the women around me be strong.
Hmm.
So the challenge is that how do I be able to show my children that I feel the impact of my past and I'm reflecting and I still hold emotion, that I have these emotions and still kind of show up for them without showing, we don't want our kids to think that we're weak, but
Right.
I want them to be in touch with their feelings and what they feel. So me learning to be that example and like we said, unlearning me showing my children vulnerability is not a weakness.
Nope.
It's showing them that I can still go through what I went through, feel it, address it, and still navigate through life and not let it hold
Exactly.
me back and not allow life to run me, but I can still run my life and my emotions with all of that going on. So showing them how to be vulnerable and still be that mom that's there for them has kind of
Hmm.
been the challenge because it was the mindset that I had to change.
And I love that because again, like, and teach them to be vulnerable in safe spaces because that vulnerability is going to get you through life for real. And I feel like we grew up in a time where therapy wasn't big. You know, you just had to deal with it. So getting them to see like feeling these emotions, you got to feel the emotions, you got to get it out, but then you move forward. Like you don't stay stuck in those emotions. So
Yes.
you're doing a great job. So I definitely love that. And I know the kids appreciate it. And I feel like as they get older, they appreciate it, you know, a little bit more. So I know that you've been going through your healing journey for a little while. What did healing look like for you in the beginning versus what it looks like for you now?
Oh, so okay, healing in the beginning for me honestly looked like, okay, acknowledge what you went through and pretty much pack it up and move forward. What's in the past is in the past.
Hmm.
Honestly, what healing looks like for me now is sometimes I do sit and look in that rearview mirror, and reflect on my past decisions, my patterns. It's really the start of
Hmm.
learning myself through and through. That has been my thing. I'm in my I'm worthy phase, and so healing for me is definitely talking out loud about my experiences and what I went through and connecting with other people and creating safe spaces for myself, creating safe spaces for others.
Hmm.
It is healing is finding joy in everything. It is
Yeah.
healing my mindset. It is, loving myself regardless of whatever mistakes that I've made or consider
Hmm.
as a mistake. It is grounding myself. It's just a wave of just self love
Hmm.
that
And
I
I love
feel
it.
is healing.
And it's huge. And like you said, reflection, like if y'all not out here reflecting, just take like 10 minutes a day to just really think about like past situations, not so much. And I've said this in like a TikTok before, think about how others have treated you, but how you've allowed them to treat you. But also think about like Shante just said, like the decisions that you made that led up. Like we're not perfect, we make mistakes, and when you really take that time to just be silent, you can learn so much about yourself. Like it's I reflect every day, like, and I'm obsessed with it because like I learn, I like unlock something else every day. I learn something else about me every day. I'm like, dang, that's the pat. Like you said, patterns. Like I keep doing the same thing, and when you do the same thing, you can't expect a different result. So it's just like, okay, Victoria,
Yes,
what are you going to do
yes,
better? So how are you going to move different? So thank you for that tip. So y'all, if y'all didn't take notes, make sure you go back, push rewind, and take some tips on what Shantae just said because that was gold. But so the next question is, how did faith play a role in your healing journey?
first off, Faith played a huge role. I actually have a daughter named Faith. So
Okay.
Faith played a huge role. And Faith is essentially, you know, it's like having the evidence of something unseen.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew that there was something better. I just kind of felt in my bones and in my body that I'm not going through all of this for no reason. Um,
Yes.
it's crazy because even as a child, I didn't speak much, but when I did speak, a lot of people would be tuning in. I've always heard I have a natural voice since I was a child.
And you do.
And thank you. And so it took me to go through my circumstances and go through life and get to this point here for me to realize I was meant to use my voice, you know, and leaning in to faith because like I said, it is the evidence of something unseen,
Mm-hmm.
which has been greatly impactful. It guided me to take certain leaps of faith,
Mm-hmm.
certain leaps, because I believe that I would be caught. I believe that if I fail, I would get back up. And I believe that everything happens for a reason.
And I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like we say it, but like when you start self reflecting, like you feel it. And like you look back and it's just like, I was just telling my client this everything, even like the bad stuff, had to happen in order to get me to where I'm at. And it's just, it's crazy when you think about it because we be in emotions like, God, like, why is this happening to me? What's going on? But it literally all comes together and comes full circle. And it's like, now I see
Mhm.
why I had to go through that to be able in my field. I feel like for my purpose is to help someone else either not go through that or help them navigate it not alone. So it's just like a
Absolutely.
bigger picture. And when you reflect, like it's just so I
Yes,
know how you
yes.
feel. So what did you have to unlearn to really love yourself and to step into that like self-love version of yourself?
Wow. So, like we had that, you have to unlearn some things. I had to unlearn that love. I had to unlearn that love meant sacrifice at my own
Mhm.
expense. I grew up believing that love required me to overextend myself, to stay quiet,
Whew.
just to keep the peace. Even when it hurt me, I
Yep.
thought love was something I had to earn, honestly, since childhood. Accommodating and not being, too much. I had to
Hmm.
learn that being chosen was more important than I had to unlearn that being chosen was more important than choosing myself.
Hmm.
Love that love meant tolerating things that I didn't feel right just to maintain a connection.
Hmm.
Real self love didn't begin until I realized that love should feel safe, mutual, honest, and it's not something that will cost me my voice, my boundaries, my peace, my standards.
Oh, Shante hitting all the facts because you are not telling any lies. Like all that safety is first. Like you have to feel safe. Um, you just hit it. I can't even follow up because you just hit everything that is true. So I mean, like, so what does safe, healthy self love look like to you today?
Today, that self love looks like choosing honesty over comfort, Setting
Yes.
boundaries without guilt and not abandoning myself to keep the peace. Listening to my body, to my emotions instead of dismissing them.
Yep.
Giving myself permission to rest, to say no without guilt, to walk away from anything that doesn't align with who I am and who I'm becoming.
Yes.
Safe, healthy self love also means showing up for myself the same way I used to show up for everyone else and no longer negotiating my peace to feel loved. I don't
Again,
have
I
to
can't
prove my
follow up
worth.
because everything you just said, like if y'all not, please take notes. And please, if this video doesn't resonate with you, please send it to somebody it will resonate with because this is all so, so true. Like you have to, everything you said, like from the boundaries to just pouring into yourself, like we cannot pour from an empty cup. Like we got to be together in order to help other people be together. Um, so what would you
I
tell? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I want to say that that even comes down to my children. My
Hmm.
children understands that mommy cannot pour from an empty cup, a half
Hmm.
cup, or a full cup. Anything outside of myself only gets my overflow. If I
Hmm.
am at a full cup today, that's still just for me. That means that I am at a time for myself. So
Okay.
that's why it's important. I teach my children it is important that I take time for myself to reflect, to get a quiet moment, because
Hmm.
I am only able, and my standard, my boundary is to only give anybody outside of myself and my children, they are included outside of myself, that you are entitled, you can get my overflow, but you're not entitled to my cup, only my overflow.
And I love that. I love how you put that. I'm gonna incorporate that. Like you only I get my cup, like you said, and everybody else around me gets the overflow. I love that. And that's a
Yeah.
different way of like looking at it. So what would you say to women who are still struggling in silence? What's one step that they can take towards healing?
I would say if you're still struggling in silence, one step is to do something bold. It
Okay.
didn't take it took for me to do something bold and outside of my normal to break that cycle. You have to
Okay.
break the cycle, do something that you normally wouldn't do. Talk to, record yourself, set up something where you talk out loud. If you're in a social media, post something about
Mhm.
how you feel, get it, get it out. I would say do something that makes you uncomfortable because it's not your normal. So that will be my advice.
So that's leading kind of into my next question is why is this so important for women to share their stories openly?
Oh, it's important so you can become who you are, so that you can
Yes.
heal, so that you don't get stuck and stay stuck in a cycle that you're in, and be able to build a community and help others that are around you, to grow and to elevate into your higher self, into your purpose. And it could lead you to your life's purpose, which has done that for me. I never imagined that me being able to speak would lead into me coordinating events and going on podcasts, and I would say create that community.
Yes, and that's huge. And find your people. Like you'll find your people will find you. But make sure again it's a safe space wherever y'all decide to, tell your story. So, Shantae, what would you say to the version of yourself who was afraid to speak up?
So what I would say to my version who was scared, girl, say it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who has what. Somebody's always going to say something, and it doesn't
Yes.
matter. The only opinion that matters is the opinion you have of yourself. That is the only voice that matters. That's the only voice that should be in your head. No one else's. Nobody else can walk your shoes. I don't
No.
care what they've been through or what they feel like they've been through or how well they know you. You are not the same person you were even 5 minutes ago. You step out
Mm.
and be that woman that you are called to be, and it does not matter of anybody's opinion. Your opinion is the only one of yourself that matters.
Again, like I can't follow up with nothing because you hitting everything just the way that it needs to be told. Like, oh, your opinion, only your opinion matters. You are the only person that has to live and die with the decisions that you make. Nobody else. Someone will always have something to say. You could be making $1 billion, somebody gonna have something to say. You could be making $2 an hour, somebody gonna have something to say. You have to do generally what's best for you, genuinely, and that's it. And
Mhm.
yes. So
Yes.
tell us about your event because you mentioned that you hosted an event and I know about it, but tell the audience what inspired you to create it. Tell us a little bit about it, how they can get information to either participate or just to support.
Okay. So I created an event. My upcoming
Mhm.
event is called Let's Tell the Truth Live, Healing Out Loud. And it was really inspired by my own journey. There's been times in my life where I felt silenced, misunderstood,
Mhm.
alone in a lot of what I was going through. I know what it's like to carry, pain in private and to be overlooked. At some point I realized how much staying silent just was costing me mentally, emotionally, even in my relationships, opportunities. Um, when I finally started using my voice and telling my truth, that's when everything began to shift for me, honestly.
Okay.
I created this event because I know I'm not the only one who's felt this way.
Mhm.
There's also many people walking around holding in their stories, thinking they have to deal with everything alone. And I wanted to create a safe space, where people can come together, feel safe, be heard, and realize that they're not alone. Uh, this event is just not about sharing pain. It's about turning pain into purpose, right?
Yes.
Connecting with people with real support and resources, and just reminding people that their voice also matters. It's about healing in community because I truly believe healing begins out loud. My experience.
And it's such a beautiful thing because I think with so much negativity going on in the world just around us, and then things that come involve come to our light, into our life. So I appreciate everything that you're doing because again, to create that community environment, to create that positivity, to help people share their story, which ultimately helps them heal, to resonate with someone, like you said, to let people know you're not alone. Because sometimes we go through stuff and in our head we get stuck like, I'm the only person in the world going through this. And that's really not true. Like it could be a billion people going through the same thing, but people are really suffering in silence. So I'm so appreciative and
Yes.
I can't wait to just support you in this event and help other people heal out loud. With this beautiful, wonderful event that's coming up, what can people expect to experience when they attend?
Ooh, okay. So when they attend, people can definitely expect a safe, welcoming space where
Okay.
they don't have to hide or pretend. The event will include powerful storytelling, motivational speakers, spoken word,
Mhm.
real conversations that people can actually relate to. There will also be access to community resources, opportunities to connect with others, and, just moments both to feel emotional and uplifting at the same time. It's not just really something to watch. It's something to feel and to be a part of.
Okay. And I love that. And then this event is for men and women, correct? So it's for
Yes, it
everybody.
is. Yes.
Okay. So what type of transformation would you want like your ideal person to like walk away with when they leave this event?
Okay. So the transformation that men and women can expect to walk away with is I want people to feel inspired. I want people to
Okay.
feel heard. I want people more connected to themselves. Even if
Okay.
they don't share their story that day, I want them to feel like they can one day.
Hmm.
I hope they leave with a sense of confidence, knowing
Okay.
their voice matters and that their experience don't define them. They can turn, them they could turn them into something meaningful.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I want them to leave knowing that they are not alone. You are not alone, and healing
No.
is possible, especially when it's done in community.
And I love that. So, how can people either sign up for the event to be a part of the event to support, or just follow you with your journey? Because you may have people, again, your story may resonate with them, and they may want to reach out to learn more.
So I am they can reach out through my email, which is let's tell the truth pod at Gmail. They can connect with me on social media, which is TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. They're all the same name. Let's tell the truth events.
Okay. Yes, I love that. Well, thank you, Shante, for being a guest on the show. It has been my pleasure. And I feel like I know that a lot of people are going to take away a lot of great information from this. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
So
Y'all
thank you
make
for
sure
having me.
of course. Y'all make sure y'all follow Shante. And then, as always, if anyone wants to come on the show, whether you're an entrepreneur, a mom, anything that you feel like you want to tell your story and get it out in a safe space, please reach out to me. I'll have all the information below. I have Shantae's links below. So y'all can, again, follow her, support her. Hoping to see y'all at the event. But thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's another Women Empowerment Wednesday. Have a great rest of your day, guys.